First, we like to say is the number one educator in a child's life, you hear it all the time, is the parent. And that doesn't mean that the parent has to have the ability to geometry, algebra, whatever subject matter, the various science, physics. Doesn't mean that the parents have to have the ability, but it does mean the parents have to ensure if I'm having a conversation with my child around some of their challenging decisions, and sometimes I might have to be the coach as the parent. I might have to ensure that I'm the teacher as the parent, but in this case, teaching may be to build upon what's already being done at the school. And so parents have a major role in the face of the change curriculum, as well as the parent tool that we've developed, but it still deals with the same focus, and that is, how do I have a conversation with my child, with my student, if I'm the guardian, if I'm the mother, if I'm the dad, that gets that child to deal with his or her social emotional issues? Because if you yell and you scream and I haven't received the lesson, I haven't received the critical thought behind what it is that you're trying to teach me, that doesn't mean you don't get hard love now at home. It just means that I didn't have to make you, because it's so much easier rather than me telling you what you did wrong and telling you the consequences of what you did wrong. It's so much better for parents if I'm able to get that student to see his or her mistake, his or her challenge, to think critically about it. And then for you to put it back on that child and help them think through the process is so easy. And parents, you don't have to have, if you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a doctorate degree to implement this. It's written in a way for adults to be able to reach young people and to have not only a conversations, but to be able to deal with some specific things that you both are sharing. You're sharing your basis of knowledge, but more importantly, you're trying to get that young person to see the good in them. And the way they're able to do that is thinking critically. And if I'm thinking critically about my choices as a parent, if I can get my child to see this competitive advantage that I'm trying to help them navigate, called school and beyond, then you would have done your part as a parent. But it takes the whole foundation. It takes that parent, it takes that teacher, it takes that social worker, it takes that principal, it takes that counselor. And if all of them are surrounding that child as a foundation of support, and support, again, comes in many different shades. And sometimes it may be hard love, but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what did that child, or how can I be proactive so they can learn the lessons because some lessons students or children don't need to experience. Let's just face it, there are just some lessons that can be so earth-shattering, some lessons, but there are other lessons that students can get based on experience and based on thinking critically about the outcomes. And if you ask me, okay, if I make this choice, what's the end game? What could possibly happen? What potentially could happen as a result of some of my unwise choices?